This is Taylor Williams with WTWO. The new portion of the Greene County Jail is set to open in June, but before it does, Sheriff Michael Hassler gave me a tour. Take a look.
Sally Port, an entrance for inmates will be brought in through that door. This is larger than the one we currently have. The one we currently have, we have DOC, Department of Corrections bus comes through about once a week, picks up inmates. And this is large enough that the bus can actually enter the building and secure itself while we're transferring inmates into the bus. So we'll get them out, there'll be a line out here, we'll do our field sobriety testing here. Then as soon as they enter through the first door, this room on the right is the alcohol testing area. They will be tested. If they fail, they enter the jail. If they pass, then they never enter the jail. They actually are taken back out, taken back to their car. About a 15-person holding cell. I have 3 of these. It's ADA compliant as far as a wheelchair can roll up to it. We have inmates that have disabilities at times, so there's a button here. It says watch tour. And at night we call for lockdown. And there'll actually be a line across the floor. At lockdown in the dorms, everybody has to be behind that line in their bunks. They can get up and use the restroom, but they got to go back to their bunk. In the actual cells, they're locked in the cells at night. And every hour after lockdown, we have to have jail officers walk past everyone to make sure they're okay once an hour. And what they do here is they'll have a watch tour button, and they hit that. The other watch tour button's on the other wall. And the only way to get from there to there is to walk by every inmate. And then when he punches that one, a computer's actually logging all of this. So if an inmate or attorney says, my client wasn't checked on, he was sick, nobody checked on him for hours, we can go to the log and show that he was passed by with a jail officer once an hour all night long. So, you know, it kind of takes care of some of the liability. And that's the restroom area and showers, ADA and regular showers and toilets. These are 4-man cells, I think. And you see the difference between the privilege. Being a minimum inmate, that's a privilege to be a minimum inmate. Now, you might got charged on something that you come in here, you'll never be a minimum inmate. You know, you might always be maximum depending on the charges. However, if you're in here on minimum charges, which is most of your people, you know, drunk driving, small theft type issues, things like that, it's a privilege to be in minimum because it's more like staying at camp, you know, freer area, freer to roam, no the walls. But when you get into one of these cells, you imagine being in there with 3 other people locked down for 8 hours a night. And that's what happens to the ones in minimum. If they violate the violations, jail violations, then they get placed into a higher class. This is an ADA, American Disabilities cell, because of the way the toilet is, where they can roll a wheelchair under there and also roll into the shower. They're not all like this. But this is a 4-man cell, and you hear the echo. Now imagine being in here for 8 hours with people snoring, making all kinds of noises. There's actually video visitation that goes here. So the offender never leaves the cell block. And that opens up a lot of possibilities. Right now, say I cannot let minimum, medium, and maximum offenders mix together. So one day between certain hours has to be just minimum visitation, and so many hours after that, medium visitation. And it's broken down where you can't visit every day, because it's not your classification to visit. And with this, they can visit every day because the offender never leaves the block. This is actually the back of the jail cells. That makes the secure part of the building. As far as the cells is actually the perimeter of the jail. Everything as far as mechanical that's needed to be worked on is on the back of the cells, so I can have a maintenance person with a tool cart roll through here and never actually have to go into a cell where there's inmates to work on equipment. This is actually an outside recreation area. And by federal law, what makes it outside recreation is we open that garage door and outside air flows in. You can see the sky, so it's considered outside rec. This is where the controller sits. Every lock, door, intercom, anything that happens in the area that we've just toured is controlled right here in this tower.